Claude AI just changed the way Google Ads is run, and in this video, I'm going to show you exactly how we're integrating it into the e-commerce brands we currently run Google Ads for. For those of you that are new, my name's Shri Kanase, and I run Yoru Marketing, the #1 rated Google Ads agency for e-commerce brands. Because we have access to dozens and dozens of brands, we're able to implement tons of AI strategies and tools like Claude into the backend to see what works a lot quicker than anyone else. Now, before I go into the actual use case of Claude, I want to reaffirm one important idea of this. AI should be assisting in building your strategies, not replacing you in creating them. The quicker you understand this, the more effective Claude and anything else will be for your e-commerce brand. But with that out of the way, the first use case scenario of Claude, which we are finding great success with, is using it for product title optimizations. Now, the overall strategies for product titles have remained the same. It should always be about high perceived value first, followed by proper SEO keywords, which are designed to go after cold traffic, not just branded keywords. And then at the very end, you can add in the branding keywords, the authority-based keywords, so on and so forth. But this equation has always stayed the same, and even now it's still the same. How we're using Claude in all of this is basically to optimize our titles at a bulk level based on new information we have, based on new data we have. Because see, the thing is, when your brand has hundreds and thousands of products or SKUs, manually rewriting every single product in your product feed, it's just not possible or feasible. And basically what I did is I found out a way to force Claude to take all of the products we currently have. So for example, all you need to do for this to work, and this is what we're doing right now, is go on over to your Google Merchant Center, and from the overview section, go on over to your products, because within products, you should see all of your currently submitted and currently active and approved products. From here, all you need to do is click this little button right at the very right, which says download products. Once you download them, it will basically send it to a specific TSV file. This TSV file can very easily be then changed to a CSV file, because the next step for you is to then go onto Claude and basically give it this specific prompt. Now, this prompt can be optimized, can be customized based on your overall needs. I highly recommend that you keep everything else the same, besides some key features such as the perceived value increasing words like premium or lightweight. What you want to do, and what we're finding great success with, is replace these keywords with whatever makes sense for your industry. For example, if you're in, let's say, the automotive industry and you're selling some Ford Raptor headlights, here obviously premium, lightweight, those are ideal perceived value increasing words to include when you're giving this prompt to Claude. You might also want to go a bit further and add things such as heavy duty, NASA engineered, #1 rated, so on and so forth. But it's going to highly depend on whatever niche or industry you're in. It's very crucial that you take time to understand what are all of the perceived value increasing keywords which you want added to your product titles, and how many of your product titles actually need those perceived value increasing keywords. Because the last thing you want is every product to be premium this, premium that. You want Claude to have some sort of variability in it, and you can add in a clause in here, or you can add in a statement in here which says essentially to add in a perceived value increasing keyword once every 5 SKUs you go in and edit, etc. But that's basically up to you how to do it. Everything else should basically give you an output as a 2-column CSV with the original title on the left-hand side and the optimized title on the right-hand side. The easiest way to optimize with Claude, because what we found out is, I just used this recently on a brand which we had roughly 500 different SKUs to optimize. It did all of those 500 SKUs with the right titles based on the data we provided it in just 2 minutes. Imagine now doing all of that work manually. And here's another kind of extra tip I would give you. Within your actual account, your Google Ads account, what you want to do is you want to basically download the search terms reports as well that you have here, or just make a copy of all of these search terms which you are ranking for, which are the good keywords and that actually got you sales. Upload it as an external file when you're providing it this prompt, and tell it to choose keywords from this downloaded file, from the CSV file, which is full of the keywords. Now, the goal here is to ensure you only use cold traffic related keywords, number one, but also number two, ensure that these actually got you sales. The last thing you want is to have some sort of file or list of keywords which didn't really get you sales. It's as simple as clicking the download button here and providing Claude with that prompts. Now, just to give you an example, there was a specific product which we were selling on our store, which was basically a TV console stand. And our title, which is something I had designed myself, the title was Wood Arc TV Console Stand for TVs 75 to 85 inch oak. With this specific prompt, by giving it to Claude, it changed it into a premium modern wood TV console stand with storage for 75, 85 inch TVs, solid oak. A huge difference, seems a lot more professional, has a lot higher perceived value. So this works like a charm, but it's all going to be based on the inputs you provide to Claude from the get-go. And the key here is not to just run with whatever Claude gives you, it's to rather use that to A/B test alongside your own product titles for maximum impact. With that being said, now the second way we are using AI and Claude in general to take our Google Ads strategies to the next level is by using it for competitor strategy analysis. Because see, the thing is, when you go on Google, when you see all of these ads coming up, or maybe even if you see some search campaigns coming up at the bottom, all you really see are the surface level things. You might see some keywords they have in here, you might see the images, you might see if they have reviews or not. And although these are great to understand what the competition is doing, these are very surface level approaches and tactics which don't really leave you understanding what the intention, the psychology and goal behind this strategy was. Well, Claude basically changes all of that, because now to get deeper and find the intricate details of every single strategy, such as the psychological factors used, key persuasion elements, demographics targeted, and so much more, you need Claude, and you need this specific prompt right here. Basically, you are forcing Claude to act as a forensic ad analyst, and you will tell it exactly to find out how each individual element is portrayed within your competition's ad, the psychological triggers, offer architecture, objection handling, audience signals, all of these things. But the key here is to provide Claude in the start with this prompt a winning ad or a set of ads from your main competitors or a list of competitors, and adjust the prompt above as needed. So the goal here is, if you're trying to sell Ford Raptor headlights, it's ideally to find one specific brand which is excelling at this. For example, TTABC literally is taking up 4 out of the 6 listings, so clearly they have something going on that's right. And the best way to find out all of these ads, give Claude as much positive reinforcement in terms of images as possible, is to go on over to the Google Transparency Center. You can just type in Google Ads Library or Ads Transparency Center, and from here, basically you can just type in that specific brand which you saw coming up, or the actual keywords for that specific product. So in this situation, we see that tt-abc.com is this brand right here. It's a brand based in China, it seems like, but overall we can see the ads in the United States are these ones that are currently showing up right here. So all of these specific products they sell. And again, you might need to do some switches, some adjustments based on the language that is coming up with, or you can keep it simple. You can just look at specifically the ads coming up here, make sure that it appears as a full screen. And from here, you can just click shopping, for example, go a bit deeper, and then just take a screenshot of it. Or you can take a screenshot of all of these together and provide it to Claude. The more screenshots you provide, the better Claude can understand, and the better the overall output will be from Claude. But very organized, and it tells you exactly the actual desired outcomes as an analyst. And from there, you can reverse engineer and figure out what your approach needs to be by understanding who your ad should even be directed towards. And obviously, if it's one of your competitors that's scaling extremely well with Google or just in general, you can then reverse engineer that and find out the audience they're targeting, so that you can provide your own ads, your own approaches with Claude, which is exactly how we're now able to scale so many brands to over $8 million collectively in just the last 30-day period at about 3.6x ROAS on average. Which, by the way, if you run a brand making $50,000 a month or more in revenue, you need some extra help scaling profitably and consistently with Google Ads to the next level, scan the QR code on the screen or click the link in the description below to schedule a call directly with me, and let's see how we can potentially work together to make all of this happen. But with that being said, the third and most effective way to use Claude is to do landing page analysis with Claude directly. And the way this works is fairly simple. Basically, what you want to be doing is going back to the Ford Raptor after headlights example, you want to be clicking on the specific listings of ads which are ranking in the front or the best potential listings, ideally 3 to 5 of your competition. And from here, going on over to their landing page to understand how their landing page is designed, how it's laid out. Because what we will be doing is with these specific landing pages, we'll be taking screenshots of all of these, or you can even save this as a page. So you can essentially do Command P or Control P and save the entire landing page as a PDF if you want to be a bit more granular. Make sure that nothing really gets moved or changed in that PDF. You can actually take screenshots specifically directly of the entire landing page. And the main goal here is to then go back on Claude and provide it the key details of these screenshots. Ideally, you want to be capturing these main core elements within that screenshot: the headline and the main offer of that landing page, the pricing and how they present it, trust signals like the reviews, guarantees, certifications, trust badges, social proof, anything along those lines, along with the CTA placement and language. And the last two, page structure and the order the information appears in, and whether the landing page actually delivers on what the ad promised. All of these things should be incorporated in those specific screenshots you capture. Because see, the thing is, those screenshots then become the raw material that Claude uses to deconstruct their conversion strategy. And from there, once you have all of those screenshots, you then go on to Claude and you give it this prompt where it basically tells them, analyze these competitor landing pages and to map the structure from top to bottom, basically identifying the offer, pricing psychology, and so much more. And this will basically give you a summary of exactly what elements they're using in terms of psychological factors, whether what kind of audience they're speaking to, how they're speaking to them, and so much more, which again, the main goal here is to reverse engineer it and get a sustained edge from your competition. Because see, the thing is with Google Ads, the more time somebody spends on your landing page, the better the quality score of your entire ad account will be, and the higher the overall buying intent of the audience Google throws your way. And it all starts with a very solid foundation, which is essentially a landing page that's properly designed and optimized for scale in this situation. But just running this once in a while is not gonna cut it. You need to ensure that you are running these specific elements and these specific Claude prompts on a consistent basis, ideally every other week or every month even, to ensure that you understand exactly what's working versus what isn't working. Basically, your main goal is not to copy your competition, but to use all of the information you're getting back as intelligence that directly shapes your next round of campaign decisions, your next round of strategy, which essentially should take out all of the guesswork that is in play when it comes to Google Ads or just running your e-commerce brand in general. But with all of that being said, you need to understand that there are limitations to Claude in general. This system that I just showed you, these three prompts, they only work off of the publicly available data. Everything comes from tools Google themselves provide or from information visible in normal search results. So what that means is if you try to now take things up a notch and you play around with the prompt so much that you want Claude to give you exact bids, budgets, or internal performance numbers, it's just not gonna happen anytime soon, because that's sensitive information which Claude or any other AI platform is strictly avoiding and strictly designed not to do. So what that means is you need to use Claude as a sort of like a right hand for your overall strategy, your analysis, to figure out what is the best approach, number one, to also make life easy by doing product feed optimizations, title optimization. You can even do the same thing with product images now that we have ChatGPT 2.0. But that's where the work of these AI softwares actually ends. The rest of the strategy, the rest of the implementation is up to you and your team. By the way, if you want any of the prompts I'm mentioning in this video, just comment down below and I will directly give you a link to get all of these prompts. If you run a brand making $50,000 a month or more in revenue, you need extra help scaling to the next level with Google Ads, scan the QR code on the screen or just click the link in the description below to directly schedule a call with me, and let's see how we can potentially work together to make all of this happen.